This is crazy. Even when it's unintentional, Stephanie White just gets blasted and exposed. This time by one Draymond Green. We got Sophie Cunningham. It's so much to break.
Everybody's piling on Caitlin Clark right now. 2 ugly losses, the cameras zoom in on her getting cooked on defense, and the whole internet already has its verdict. Caitlin Clark can't.
Yes. Everything is fine in Orange.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's not what I'm saying.
You know what's not fine? Coach White needs to fucking pipe down.
What?
Ease up. Okay, we got the franchise. All right, so guess what? If she wants to come over to the bench and pout and scream and not play defense, she can. All right?
What? See, that's the problem.
Stand down. You let her do whatever the hell she wants, and let's keep this thing.
Draymond Green looked at that same tape and saw something completely different. And once you see what he's pointing at, you won't be able snorts to unsee it. Because the real problem in Indiana right now might not be Caitlin Clark at all. It might be the people standing right next.
Stephanie White has been an abomination of a head coach, especially to start off this season. The Indiana Fever are sitting at 500 at 4-4. This is ridiculous. She's subbing Caitlin Clark out every 3 minutes, subbing her out the first 3.5 minutes in the first quarter, playing 11 different players in first quarters, all types of foolishness and nonsense. Yet alone, this we're switching 1 through 5 defense. That's an absolute joke. This is a professional league. Stephanie White has been a travesty. We got to get into what Draymond Green.
At the table, the Fever just dropped 2 in a row. First, a tight 1 to the Golden State Valkyries. Then a brutal 16-point beatdown from the Portland Fire, a team playing in its very first season. And in that Portland game, Clark had a night to forget. 6 points when made shot out of 7, in foul trouble the whole way. So yeah, the clips looked bad. Portland went right at her over and over, dragging her into one-on-one situations all night long. But here's the first thing that should make you stop and think. This wasn't a one-game thing. Clark has guarded more isolation plays than any other player in the entire leg this season. We all know that people we've all been addressing. And we've shown film breakdowns of Stephanie White's horrendous defense, okay. Now do we have the greatest defenders in Caitlin Clark? No. In Kelsey Mitchell? No. Even Sophie Cunningham? No, she's not a great defender. But to sit there and switch 1 through 5 to play no-help defense, it's an absolute joke. Now let's take a look at what Draymond Green had to say before we get to Sophie Cunningham. Jalen Brunson living on an island with James Harden guarding. That's just not something you can let happen. This isn't just a coaching issue. When you're trying to compete at a championship level, this applies to Caitlin Clark in the Stephanie White situation as well. Follow along now. Thing you can let happen. This isn't just a coaching issue. When you're trying to compete at a championship level, you must have guys that want to take on that challenge. I'm not switching at this point in the game. Let them set the first screen, don't switch. Let them set the second screen, don't switch. Now, as opposed to Jalen Brunson getting a switch with 19 seconds on the shot clock. 17 seconds on the shot clock. Now he gets to switch with 6 or 7 seconds on the shot clock. Now you got to go. Now our defense can react and we just end up in a rotation. Not just dicing us up. You got guys in there that don't really want that challenge. They don't want to fight through the screen and say, this is my matchup. I want to stop this guy, I don't understand it. Guys simply don't know how to win, don't want to do what it takes. I was baffled by this. I'm still baffled by it every night when I watch these guys accept switches and not really want to guard the guy. So that applies directly to the Indiana Fever. More so with this joke of a game plan and Sophie Cunningham revealing, oh, we only have one defense and that's the switch 1 through 5. He's showing you can't do that, it's lazy. It's a joke and you're going to get destroyed that way, the way the Indiana Fever have. Sit with that for a second. Out of everybody, she's the one teams keep hunting every single night. So the real question isn't why is Caitlin Clark stuck on an island? The real question is why does she keep getting left there? And that's exactly where Draymond comes in. Draymond Green knows this story better than almost anyone alive because he lived the other side of it. For a decade in Golden State, his whole job was protecting Steph Curry, and Curry is one of the most hunted players in basketball history. Teams spent years trying to drag him into bad matchups and pick on him. So how often did you hear people call Steph Curry a defensive liability who was killing his team? Almost never. Why? Because the Warriors built everything around shielding him. Everybody going to come out and say, "Oh man, James Harden got annihilated. They're picking on him, they should pick on him, why not absolutely pick on him?" So all of a sudden them threes that would fall late, they fall short. No matter how you want to slice it, it is not James Harden's job to guard Jalen Brunson one-on-one. It's not what he's paid to do. Some of those other guys who's just switching off, it is your job. Shout out to Draymond Green. This applies directly to the Indiana Fever. Draymond fought through the screens. Draymond took the tough matchup. The whole defense was designed so Steph could be Steph music and never get left out to dry. That's not luck, that's how every great franchise treats its franchise player. You build the walls around your superstar, and Draymond has already said out loud what Indiana needs. Back in 2024, when teams were taking shots at Clark, he told the Fever to go invest in an enforcer fast. What he spoke about we would get into is the Kennedy Carter and Caitlin Clark situation. Number one, I saw she came out like, "Enforcer who? Talking about my tweet. There's no shot at you. I like the play. Like it was a for sure a circumflex play. Like you just run up and chuck the ball, but I'm all for that. Yeah, I'm not the guy that's going to come out here and be like, you shouldn't do that. No. But my point is they should get an enforcer so that when you do that, somebody come club you. Because that's what should happen. Like, you don't get to just do something to Steph Curry. I'm sorry, I'll get thrown out 82 times. Like, you just don't get to hit Steph. Like that's not what we going to do here. And by the way, Steph going to stand up for himself. Ain't no, I can't say the word I want to say, but ain't none of that in my brother blood. He going to stand up for himself anyway, he sees it. So look at Indiana and ask the obvious question, where are Caitlin Clark's walls? But before you answer, there's one stat that flips this whole conversation upside down. Here's the part nobody pushing the Clark can't defend story wants you to know. The numbers don't even back it up. By one defensive rating, Clark sits a hair below average. Not the worst on her team, not even close. And once you count what she does on offense, she's a team best plus 18 overall. Then there's this. When one outlet ranked the league's worst defenders, Clark wasn't in the top 10. She came in 14th. So this idea that she's some historic defensive disaster, it's a story. A loud, lazy, convenient story, and it sticks for one simple reason. Caitlin Clark drives clicks, praise her or bury her name prints money. So the easy take wins every time. Meanwhile, the harder, truer take just sits there, ignored. The most hunted guard in the league is getting almost no help. And the people whose actual job is to scheme around her still haven't figured out how to protect their most important player. That's not on Caitlin, that's on the staff and the roster. And honestly, the wildest part of all of this is how she's handling it. Because Clark isn't blaming the scheme, she's not calling out teammates. After that Portland loss, she stood up and took it on the chin. Said she just needs music to keep her defender in front and move her feet a little better. That's her taking the blame, while the people getting paid to build walls around her keep leaving the door wide open. So here's where I land. Caitlin Clark is not a perfect defender. Nobody's saying she is. But she's the most targeted player in the league, posting the best two-way numbers on her own team. And somehow she's the villain. Draymond sees it, the stats see it, and now you see it too. So what do you think? Is this really a Caitlin Clark problem, or is everybody just blaming the easiest name on the jersey? Drop it below, I want to hear it. Music.